I'm proud to introduce the program Gail Bowen. Gail, thank you so much for being here to talk about being a recipient of the Queen's Platinum Jubilee Medal.
It's a pleasure to be with you. And it's also really an honor to be receiving this medal. My grandmother was a great monarchist, and I grew up with stories of the little princesses, and the idea that that little snot-nosed little kid that she was reading stories to would ever grow up and get such a lovely award. And the Queen herself apparently approved the design, so it's very exciting. So thank you for your congratulations.
So have you got the medal yet?
Well, they have a number of like the last I got a Saskatchewan Order of Merit medal, and it was a big deal. It was just in Regina. I think there were about 7 of us, and but that was pre-COVID. So we had a big dinner, and there were the Mounties, and I'm very glad my family could all come to that. And so they all got a very fancy dinner and got to see me go out and get the medal with the Mounties. But now with COVID, everyone's careful, so they're having a number of smaller ceremonies around, like here and in Saskatoon. And but also I said, just because of COVID yet again, I said we did have the option of simply having our medals mailed to us, and so I chose that because I thought I don't want to have to cancel out, as we all have to these days.
How did you hear about being nominated for the medal?
Protocol office at the Saskatchewan legislature handles it, and it was the same fellow who his major is his status, but it is the same fellow who came over and interviewed me for the Saskatchewan Order of Merit. And so I mean, we really had a good talk that day, and so I was very pleased to hear from him about this. And he said, that in large part it was, the reasons I had been commended on the Saskatchewan Order of Merit. I mean, partly obviously it's the Joanne Kilbourne novels, but also I've written plays, but I've also taught university for decades, and many of those decades were spent at First Nations University of Canada. So I've worked closely with and thoroughly enjoyed my time with Indigenous people, and I've been active in the community. I've taught at the Open Door Society and do a number of literacy events. So I think to me, it's always just been such a natural. My ability to do those kinds of things grows so it just out of my degrees in English, so it makes good sense, and I enjoy doing it. And obviously, after all these years, I think I've managed to learn a few things.
So what does knowing that you'll be one of the recipients mean to you?
Well, it means it is an honor, and I think it means more in a strange way to my grandchildren. It's very nice for me and my your own children. My kids, somebody once referred to me in a newspaper as Canada's literary treasure. And so my kids have always grown up mocking me when I come into the room and say, oh, here's Canada's literary treasure. So as far as your children are concerned, I know they're proud, but it's not a big deal. But the grandchildren they're really taken with it. And I am too. As I said, it's my grandmother would be so proud and so amazed, that this had happened. I'm not talking pride in me, but she would just be amazed that she, who had absolutely no education, none, and she was from Kent in England, and she was widowed. My grandfather was killed in the First World War, so she came back to Canada because she believed that Canada would offer her children a better future. And so she had so much. She obviously gave up a life that she knew and loved in Kent, and she loved England for her whole life, but she was also thoroughly committed to Canada. So I think she would have been really amazed just at how fortunate we are to live in Canada, where we can go from, my father and my aunt had grade 8 education. They had to go and help support their families, but they did well. And here I am, the next generation, and went on to do graduate degrees. And, that says a great deal about Canada. I think that we have so many chances.
Well, thank you so much for talking a bit more about receiving and being a recipient for this award.
Thank you, Sarah. It was my pleasure.